CNN, the most trusted name in news.
And still to come this morning, it was the attack of September 11th, 1857. And this time, Americans fired on Americans. Controversial new movie ahead.
Old West pioneers targeted in a brutal attack by fellow Americans. CNN's Brooke Anderson looks at a new movie about that massacre.
A serene meadow in the southwest corner of Utah. 150 years ago, this valley was the site of carnage.
The bodies were left, many of them lying around, shallow graves at best for a few. The bodies were stripped of the clothing, and the bones they dug up here showed the evidence of the mangling by animals.
Mel Smith was a Mormon. He lives near this site. He's a historian and expert on what's become known as the Mountain Meadows Massacre of 1857. That year, on September 11th, 120 defenseless pioneers, men, women, and children traveling by wagon train from Arkansas, were slaughtered by Mormons, reenacted in a controversial new film.
Mormons, do your duty!
The notorious event is chronicled in the new film, September Dawn, starring John Voight.
This is almost an anatomy of religious fanaticism.
Jehovah created me to be your God on earth.
Historians disagree over what motivated the Mormons to attack and over who ordered it. The movie embraces the argument that it was Brigham Young, then head of the Church of Latter-day Saints, but that's fiercely disputed.
You cannot support the argument that Brigham Young either ordered this massacre or condoned it once it happened.
While the LDS Church won't comment on the movie itself, a spokesman tells CNN, quote, "We believe the weight of historical evidence shows that Brigham Young did not authorize the massacre." The church does not deny, however, that Mormons were involved, and it's built a monument to the victims.
The orders of those in authority are that all the immigrants must die.
The filmmakers insist they have no particular axe to grind, but in the film they do draw parallels between the Mountain Meadows Massacre and today's Islamic fanaticism.
It was on September 11th, which I found kind of ironic, and it involved a religious fanatical group of people who, in the name of God, went off and created this horrible massacre.
I am the voice of God, and anyone who doesn't like it will be hewn down.
Even before the film's release, Mitt Romney's adherence to present-day Mormonism has been the subject of wide debate in his bid for the presidency, with 30% of potential voters saying in a February poll they'd be less likely to vote for a candidate who is Mormon.
I'm not running as a Mormon, and I get a little tired of coming on a show like yours and having all about Mormon.
So will Romney see the movie? The filmmakers say they've invited him to screen September Dawn, but Romney has so far declined. His spokesman told CNN, "Our campaign doesn't get involved in movie reviews."
I think he'd be foolish to speak about the movie. You certainly don't try to elevate sort of a piece of popular culture into a political adversary.
Politics aside, Mel Smith believes this film may be the impetus for a long overdue discussion about a dark day in American history.
I think what we have to do is finally approach the situation and say, you know, let's forgive those people for some terrible mistakes.
Brooke Anderson, CNN, Mountain Meadows in southwest Utah.